Welcome back to Dubbzi Bricks for another episode of Building Gotham City in Lego. In the last update, I worked on this section just here, and I want to concentrate on this one just here now. So we've got the tan wall to put along the edge there, and then bring it across, continue the grey wall along, and then put the support beams in. That way I can then make the one large mills plate that's going to be going on top of this. So I can then start planning the train station and the train line that's going to be going on top of it. So without further ado, let's move the building and take that section over to the table. And that's the back wall all completed, and I've decided to just go for a straight wall as opposed to putting any curves in there. The majority of the track there is straight, so I didn't see the point in making it unnecessarily complicated. Now, it is only attached by two studs, one at the bottom and one there, but I have attached a couple of beams going across from the back here, which have just about worked out right for connection points, and I will stack some more bricks up to force it under the plate there, so it keeps it all in place. Now with this archway here, I want to try and build this over and connect it to this section here somehow. So just need to work out exactly how I go about doing so. But fingers crossed there will be a solution. But anyway, let's start experimenting and see what we can come up with. And there it is, the archway's all in place and it has connected really well together there. It's lined up perfectly, so that's all good. Now all I need to do is put some plates along the top of this section just here, tiles all the way along here and along the wall, plates along the top of this here, and then I can start building the roof section out over it. Once I've done that, I can continue to build support beams coming along. We have a couple of support pillars up on the outside wall just here, and that helped take the weight of the section that's going to be going above there, but confident we'll get that nice and sturdy. Now one thing I did notice, I took this over to the table to make sure I'd lined everything up perfectly, and the wall that's the other side of here is the wrong colour. Yeah, I've done it in light bluish grey and dark bluish grey, and I think what happened when I was doing the outer wall, this part here on the section to the side of it, that's in grey, and I went in with some arches and I just carried on with the grey. I totally forgot that this was tan colour, so just need to change the two walls up on the inside of the section we worked on last time out, but it is something that'll be very, very quick to change over. And there it is, all completed. And I was hoping to put some arches here, however I didn't have enough of them, so I've just gone for the inverted slopes there. I can easily change them out later on. It's just a case of pulling that and it will just all fall apart. But obviously with the downward weight, it has got plenty of strength on there. But yeah, all I need to do is work out how I'm going to do the mills plate on top of it. The size of this is going to be a little bit odd, I think, so I might need to do it where I tile over the top of it and then do a mills plate using plates and bricks as opposed to just resting a base plate on top of the studs there. But we'll cross that bridge further down the line. But anyway, let's take this over to the table and make sure everything lines up properly. And there it is, all in place, and loving the view and how this is coming along. Just need to correct my schoolboy error just here. Now, what I do need to do is join these two sections together. So what I will do eventually is the plate on the very end here is a 2x4. I'll just connect a plate that goes all the way up to that archway just there. And I might try and get some more arches in and replace it. I think it will look nice to have an arches rather than just those support pillars as they are just there. But once I've got the colours corrected, it'll be just like it is around this section just there, which is all good. But yeah, really pleased with how this is all coming together. And now that I've got that section all finished, I can start making the mills plate to go on the top. Now I've decided I'm going to start tackling the gaps that we've got here. It's quite a big one there at the moment. I just need to move all of the mills plates around until they all line up perfectly. But I'm going to start removing a couple of bricks either side of here, for example, and have one that joins across, put the plates below, and again the same at the bottom here, just overlap them, and then hopefully that will bring it all together how I want it to do. So I've made this modular in case for any reason I need to move it. However, I do also need to make sure that there are no gaping cracks in there, as when it comes to connecting roads and train lines together, if there's lots of gaps, it's going to cause a lot of problems further down the line. So let's join all of these parts together and hopefully we'll solve the problem. And that's the raised platform area on this end, pretty much done. Still need to do a very small section at the very back there. However, it's not going to stop me from doing the part I want to do next, which is working out exactly where the train line is going to go along here. Once I've done that, I can then start mapping out where I'm actually going to be building the train station itself. And that's one part I'm really looking forward to doing. So now with the train station, it is going to be like all of the other buildings, like the Arkham Asylum there, Ace Chemicals, where it's just going to be sitting on top of the mills plate there. So we're going to have, in effect, 3 sections. We've got the lower section just here. We've then got the removable plate. Then we're going to have removable buildings as well. That way, if I need to make any amendments further down the line, it's going to be easy to just take over to my desk and do so. So yeah, let's get the train track out, bring it over, and then we can start working out exactly what's going where. And the fun and games has really begun with this train track. Trying to work out the best option is proving to be quite the challenge, and a good one though. Now, at the moment, we've got the train track coming along here, comes around, and I'm really happy with this being here. Got 5 sections of straight track just here, which is a nice length to have for the platforms that will go either side. Nice gap there for another tall building, and a nice gap here to have the train station. And also there is room here, if I wanted to have a road coming up to the top of the platform to drop people off at the train station. Now, the one problem I have got is this part of track here that goes off. It's going to be going across this bit here. There will be steps coming down from this section to the lower part in front of the old Wayne Tower. However, it might be a little bit close to the front of this building. It could look good, but it might also get in the way. So that's just one thing I need to bear in mind. I did remove one section of straight just there. That moves this entire track forward by a little bit. And then this comes off of the raised platform area that much sooner. Problem solved. Now, one other option I have got is the straight track behind the Monarch Theatre there. I could extend that by 1 length, and then that will mean this angle here is over here. I've already got this plate with all the studs pointing in the right direction, which I could build the supports on. It'll be a slightly different style of the supports than I've got on that part there, but that's not a problem. That means the track will come around here that much sooner, go along. I can keep it this far over, but then I can veer it off that much sooner. So that could work really well. Now, one other thing I'm just wondering about is 1 train line or 2. And a big part of me thinks 2 train lines is what I need for Gotham City. This is a big city. You wouldn't expect to see 1 train line going around Gotham City. So I do think 2 would be better. I don't want to have too much area where you've got 2 tracks side by side. I feel like it's going to obstruct the view looking down onto the lower section of Gotham. So I just need to work out what the best idea is. It's where the second line will obviously be here. We'll go along. Then where do I take it off? Do I take it off just behind the Monarch Theatre there? Do I go across the road? Obviously, I've got this track here. I don't want the 2 to be colliding anywhere. So I need to work out where each section of track would go, where the other stations are going to be around the city. And nothing is ever simple in Gotham City. I really do like having the railway track over that much further. I think having it above this section here gives it a lot of more of a darker feel. So once I put a building or something underneath that, I think it's going to look really good. The problem I'm having at the moment is that there's very limited studs that are going in the same direction as the train track. We made this part here previously. However, I feel like it needs to go further over so I can continue to have the supports running in the same direction as the actual train line. These 2 here, I've just put them where I can, and they're not actually connected to the actual railway track. And even a turntable on there I don't think would work. It's not as strong as the previous design. So I just need to now make the decision whether or not to rip up this mills plate here and extend that plate going across, or whether I move the train track back over there. This support here is now in the middle of the water as opposed to on the pavement there. You can see the studs missing. And again, I don't mind that. I quite like having that sticking out of the water. It just adds a little bit more variety to there. But I do need to do something, as this isn't stable enough, I don't think, once you get a train whizzing around the top of it. And how many times have we been in this position where we built something and then had to destroy it? It's a same old story. But here it is. The mills plate has all been destroyed, and we put the tiles down, and I've made this plate here, which is 38 studs along that area just there, 38 here, and then we've got the extra 4 studs worth on there. Now all I need to do is put the hinge piece on the corner just there. That'll help keep it in place, and then rebuild the archway that goes over, which makes the water look like the water's just disappearing under the road section. But one other thing I am considering doing is doing a bridge over here for pedestrians to walk over. I just think that will be quite a nice little touch to it. And that will also help to force this plate into the correct position. But we've now got a nice area where we can put these supports at the same angle as the railway track. So anyway, let's tidy up this area just here, replate that section, build that back up. And once I've done so, I'll check back in and show you how it's come out. And there are all the supports back in place, and I've strengthened them in the middle there. So I put a beam going across, and I've added a couple of little extra details like some slopes on there, and it does feel a lot sturdier. There were a couple of problems with the alignment. When it came to putting the bridge over, it wasn't lining up, so I then had to amend this side just here, and there is now a very slight gap down there, whereas before there was a hinge piece keeping these two together. Now it's the bridges that are keeping everything together, so it's all worked out okay. And we've now got some steps that lead from this what's going to be the Joker Funhouse area over to the main part of Gotham. Now these support struts here, these ones are a couple of studs narrower, and that's due to this little bit that sticks out here. I couldn't bring this over any further, so yeah, just had to make a compromise on that. The top section is the same width as the ones around here, so it just overhangs by a stud either side, and I've done that in case I do need to build up. I want them all to look the same going around. Now over the back here, I just need to put one support down there, and I think I'm going to go for a single one like I've got on the front just here. And then as soon as we get to the raised platform, there'll be supports going all the way around. So now we've got that upper platform area sorted out, I can now attach the train line to that properly. Now in regards to the train line, it has come over this way. It's a little bit further over than it was at the beginning of the episode, but it's not as far over as when I first started to mess around with the support struts just here. It's in between the two. But either way, that train line there now is going to come off right on the corner, which is going to be absolutely perfect. So in the next update, the one thing I do want to do is continue round with the railway track, get that all put in place so it's all clipped together like this one is just here. Although that's a removable section on there, it can still be clipped on. What I also want to try and do then is work out if it is possible to have a second train line going in and out of Gotham City. So down the far end where we're going to be having the mountain where the Batcave, it'd be nice to have a tunnel where the road comes out into Gotham City, but also a train line as well. So I just need to work out whether or not that is something that is going to be possible. So yeah, plenty of planning to do in the next update, but I'm sure we'll come up with a solution one way or the other. Anyway, that's all we have time for. I hope you've enjoyed the update. If you have, please remember to give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future content on the channel. And if you know anybody else you think would be interested in building Gotham in Lego, if you could share the channel with them, it'd be much appreciated. Anyway, thanks for watching by, and I'll see you next time.